Thank you for watching this introduction to OS 10. I want to begin with some vocabulary. First one is, what is an OS? OS stands for operating system. In your operating system, think of it as like your mother program. It's the program that supports all the other programs. When you touch the power button on your computer, on your Mac anyway, it boots up into OS 10, which is our operating system. If we were on PCs, when we click the power button, it would boot up into Windows. Windows is the PC operating system. So first thing I want to go over is I want you to look at some of the things up on this bar here. If you look immediately to the right of the apple, it shows you what program is open. I have Camtasia 2 open. It's what I'm using to record this video. And all the menus up here are things that I can do with Camtasia. If I click on the desktop here, notice it changes to the Finder. And the menus have changed. These are all things that I can do with the Finder. If I click on the Apple button, I can go to About This Mac, and it'll give me information about this computer. It tells me what version of OS 10 I'm running. It tells me what computer I have, what version of the MacBook Air I'm on, gives me information about the processor, the memory. We're going to go over some of these things like processors and memories in more detail later. And just a whole bunch more information that you can look at, that you can get about your Mac. From here, another important thing is the force quit option. So let's say you have your computer either won't restart altogether, or you can't get a program to quit. I can go to force quit, and it gives me all the programs that are open, and I can click any one of those and I can say force quit. From the Apple menu, I can also restart the computer, shut it down, or log off. Another important thing up here, a couple more important things, is I can click on this to connect to a Wi-Fi network. When you're at school, you should be connected to SPS devices. If you're on secure, you're going to have problems. And then when you're at home, you'd obviously choose a different network. Another thing, you can see how much battery life you have. And then also, this right here, this is for turning Bluetooth on or off. I always keep Bluetooth off if I'm not using a Bluetooth device, just because it uses up a lot of power. On the desktop, if you right-click on the desktop, you get a menu. And by the way, there's a few ways to right-click. You can hold down the Control button and click the bottom of your trackpad, or you can hold down 2 fingers in the center of the trackpad, and then with the other hand, click on the bottom of the trackpad, which is my preferred method. I can show you that if you like. If you want to stop me in the hall, I can show you. All right, so from this menu on the desktop, you can create a new folder. You can also clean up your desktop icons as well. There's a bunch of options here for clean up by, and sorting by, and viewing options. The one I usually use is just to sort the icons by name if you want to clean it up. But I'm going to go ahead and create another folder, and I'm just going to demonstrate the cleanup option. If I right-click here, I can say clean up by name, and it's just going to put everything back in order for me. If I move my mouse down here and I click on the Finder in the lower left, this is how you can find things on your computer. And I want to talk a little bit about the Macintosh file system. And the Finder is what you would use to find things on your computer. So one way you can do it, the Finder has a search feature. So let's say I was looking for, I don't know, the terminal. I can click on that. I'll explain what that is later. I can click either on My Files, Shared Files, or this Mac, and I could see my terminals right there. So anyway, there's something called the Macintosh hard drive. That's what it's named on your computer anyway. It can be named something different, but I'm pretty sure it should be named Macintosh HD on your computer. You can search for it up here if you can't find it. And there it is right there. By the way, these favorites here, if you don't see something you need, you can search for it, find it, and then drag it onto, it's already there, so it didn't add it, but you could drag it there and it'll put it there. But anyway, enough about that. Let me get back to the Macintosh hard drive. It's the beginning of the file system on your Mac. And what that means is every file, every folder, everything is either on the Macintosh hard drive or in some subdirectory, like these ones you see here on your Macintosh hard drive. So the first one I want to call your attention to is the users. So if I go to the Macintosh hard drive and then go to users, it shows you every user that's logged into your computer. And the one that's currently logged in has a little home button next to it. So I'm logged in as a user called admin right now. So this is the one that has the home next to it. So if I go in here, this is where all my stuff is. So let's say you've lost a file, you don't know where it is. It's probably somewhere in your home directory. So if you go to Macintosh hard drive, users, and then admin, you can manually search through all the files. I probably have more files at the root of my home directory than you would, just because I use it for a lot of things. But notice there's documents, there's downloads, music, all the stuff you save goes there. And I want you to notice something else too. If I go to desktop, this is just a copy of what I have on my desktop. Watch this. If I rename this file here, notice it changes there on my desktop. Another folder that I want you to be aware of on the Macintosh hard drive is the applications directory. Whenever I push out software to you or you install something, any sort of program that you'd want to open up, it's going to, most of the time, come here into applications. So applications is a good one to have over here on your favorites. If there's something in your applications that you want to have down here on your dock, just to do a quick launch, like let's say I don't have the dashboard down here. I know a lot of the teachers use that. If I wanted to have that down here on my dock, I could take it and I could drag it down here, and then it's there for quick access. And last but not least, the system preferences. Most of you have been in here. If I go to the Finder and Applications, I can find the system preferences. I think most people have it down on their dock as well. But if I go in here, I'm not going to painstakingly go through all the system preferences. There's a lot in here. I'm just going to highlight a couple of things that trip people up sometimes. One of them is in security and privacy. Notice here where it says allow apps downloaded from, and it says anywhere. It defaults to the second one here. That means you can't download any third-party software. So you have to unlock it first. And change it. You can click the back button to get to here. The display, this is important for when you're working with your projectors. A note about the energy saver. This is a good thing to adjust if you need the computer to stay on longer for some reason. But one thing I want to make you aware of is this program down here, Surveyor. We push this out to you. It's an energy saving program, and it's going to change the settings in Energy Saver automatically. So if you change something, it may change it back to what it thinks it should be. Sound, of course, you can use this for your projectors. When you have you could tell it where you want the sound to be directed. There is also printers. If you want to install a printer, especially your home printer, you can click plus here. And then if you look at the kind, like let's say you plug in a USB printer, you just look for the kind. It'll say USB. It'll be the only one in there if it's the only printer you've installed. And you can click it and install it. And not too much more that I want to go over right now at this time, but I'd encourage you to just go through, just poke around in here and figure out some of the things that you can change, some of the settings.